next. So let's start bringing them in.
Hey,
Look at this, it's a
everybody.
party.
Hey.
Hi, guys.
Oh, hey, Zach and Jim. Oh,
We're going to have some fun now.
Look at that.
Awesome.
And
Oh, man.
Juliet said it was a great live stream. She really
Thank
did.
you,
Oh,
Juliet.
oh,
Thank you so much
right.
for listening.
We love you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Cheyenne, we had Guy Roberts earlier as well.
I
Kind of old
love
Oh,
hat
you
at this
did?
stage,
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I
he
love
stopped
that
in when
popping
Malki's
in.
King was on. So, but yeah,
So I think we can get to 10,000. You guys,
Absolutely.
this is something you guys can easily do. You've
Yeah.
got it.
got it.
10,000.
We're going to push for it.
What's
Let's
the count at right now, Rob?
$9,146.53.
Oh, 53
right.
cents. Who donated 53 cents?
It's because people have been donating like in pounds or euros, and it's conversions.
All that stuff.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I want to feel like I have to donate like 47 cents because it's going to bother me.
Nils has done that a couple of times. Actually, it's like my OCD is
Even
just
it
getting
out.
me, and he's donated a weird
Just
amount.
to even it out.
Back out.
Joe, just
Yeah.
stay tuned, and every time it's off, go ahead and just set it to the most nice number, and we'll just keep going up. It'll be great.
There we go.
Yep, we're just going to keep looking for more and more Joe donations over the next 2 hours now. Come on.
Every time, I'm going to have to round off every donation.
37 cents,
There we go.
49 cents.
All right.
Love it.
So,
All right.
yeah.
All right.
See you in a little while,
everybody.
guys.
Bye to
Bye,
all of
Zach.
you. Thanks,
Yeah.
everyone.
Bye.
Great
Check
job,
us out. We'll
Talk
talk around
Around
Riyadh.
Bye,
Like I said,
thank you.
yeah, links down in the show notes. Check out our podcast, everyone.
Bye-bye, all.
Bye.
See you later.
Happy holidays.
Okay.
All right.
So, Jim, you're going with. Let's move everybody around. You said up to the fires of heaven. Was it the spoilers?
Nah, we'll keep it just as far as the Dragon Reborn. We shouldn't have to go any further than that.
Or at least
Okay.
I'm going to try really
Yeah,
really
Zach's
hard.
going to try. You know,
Dragon
Put this on
Reborn.
try. Yeah, it's
he
hard.
often
Done.
needs forgiveness, but
Then
There we
again,
he'll
go.
try.
yeah, I'm.
That's up there for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Have
I'm-
fun, and I will
I'm
see you in
used
an
to
hour.
keeping things from.
All right, thank you
these
very
guys.
much,
All
Rob.
right.
It's hard. Thanks.
Fantastic. All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to joining this crew now as we get going with another hour here of the WoT-a-Holiday. Zach and I, we do a podcast together, and so we're going to do a little introduction like we normally do, and then we're going to let the others introduce themselves as well, and we'll kind of let you know who you're listening to here. Then, so Zach, you have something you always say. Start us off.
Well, if you're still around or if you're just joining us, welcome to this WoT-a-Holiday section led by us here at Fantasy for the Ages, where a father and son sit down and talk, sometimes with some other people, about things in fantasy. I'm the son of that equation, Zach, and one of
that
those
makes
directions.
me, yes, the father, Jim. Yep. And it's great to have everybody with us here again today. Zach, I'm kind of thinking you and I get to be called the Bring It Home Boys, since we're not on just for this hour, but also for the next hour, and let's get it
Oh.
over that 10,000 goal here. That's
You know,
what we're
I'm
hoping.
with you, but at the same time, you lost me when I saw the tie on your head, and I haven't gotten over it.
Well, I had to get seasonal in some way, and I wasn't going to wear a real tie, around the neck. So this was actually your mother's idea, believe it or not.
I think seeing it bigger made it better because I realized it's the Christmas M&Ms tie.
Yes.
I don't know whether to be proud or ashamed right now, and I'm okay with
See
that.
there, the full details. They're adorable. I think your mother actually even made this tie, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
I know. Well, we are thrilled to be able to be part of the WoT-a-Holiday charity live stream. This actually is something special for Zach and I because it marks 1 year that we've been podcasting.
Wow.
Literally,
That's
our first
amazing.
episode dropped a year ago tomorrow, so close enough. But that's kind of fun. That's kind of cool, and what a great event to be able to sort of celebrate that we've been doing this for a year now. So we do want to encourage everybody to just feel so awesome about that you get in and you make a donation already. Go ahead, as a way to go, guys. Support the cause. But we do have 3 fantastic additional podcasters, creators with us here today. Would you go ahead and introduce yourselves now?
Sure. Yeah, sure. So I'm Cheyenne from the World Hoppers podcast. I well, our podcast is mainly on the Cosmere side. We focus on helping first-time readers, but also providing discussion for new fans. And yeah, I've read The Wheel of Time twice now. I love the series, and I've also really been enjoying the show.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm Ilana, again, like part of the World Hoppers podcast. So love both the Cosmere and Wheel of Time. I'm on my first read through of Wheel of Time, and I'm about 40% of the way through Lord of Chaos. I think Alf is about the same place.
I am.
So we're
Keep
having
it
a
up
lot of
with
fun
you.
with our reactions.
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
ton of fun. Like on
Oh
the
my
Discord, like
gosh.
I'm just like mentioning things, and it's hard for me not to say anything.
Mhm.
Especially
No, we
when
get it.
they're like comparisons, but I love their reactions. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying the show. It has been absolutely wonderful, and watching it with my family who have no idea what's happening has been a blast.
That's right. Well, I am Alfonsina. You can call me Alf. As Irene said, I'm over 40% of the Lord of Chaos. First time reading. No spoilers experience, so I'm trying to not
Yes.
Google anything, not find out about anything.
And you
Very
did
hard.
already.
Crying on her part.
Yeah.
Alf is a spoiler friend. And I'm like, okay, you're not going to spoil anything for yourself on The Wheel of Time, please,
You know,
for the love of
yeah.
God. And some things have happened, but for the most part.
That's fine. I admire that. I finally found someone who actually reads books wrongs like I do. So I appreciate
They
having
both
someone
like
to actually
spoilers.
feel as a
Finally,
safety
some
net here.
validation. Yeah, so guys, it's an honor to be a part of this event with you. I love podcasting with my friends. It's absolutely beautiful to do that, and to be a part of WoT-a-Holiday with you, I am honored. I have been listening to your first 3 episodes very carefully, trying not to catch any spoilers, but so far those are amazing.
Oh, good.
Very good to listen to if you're starting the Wheel of Time. So for first-time readers, if you're starting the Eye of the World, that's a way to go. Checking the
Thank
Fantasy
you.
for the Ages.
There you go. And that is it. Fantasy for the Ages exists as a podcast where Zach and I just enjoy talking about all sorts of fantasy things, and we decided to take 2 different approaches. One was to work our way through a series. We said, what's one of our favorite series? And we both love The Wheel of
Short
Time.
and sweet, something that won't take that long to get through.
Yeah.
Clearly not.
We realize now it's going to take us at least 3 years to get through the whole thing, maybe more. But that's fine, because who doesn't love talking about The Wheel of Time? So as we work through it on our podcast, it is great for a first-time reader because we use something called spoiler light. We don't spoil the big reveals, but we do point out the foreshadowing. We kind of hint at the things that are kind of important you might want to remember. We just don't tell anybody why. So people who already have read it like we have, they kind of enjoy that too. It's like, yeah, we know, hink, wink, wink, nod, nod. We know what we're talking about. Fun stuff. But then we also do talk about occasionally other things from fantasy and science fiction. So we just geek out about whatever we feel like. Now,
Yeah, that sounds
today,
amazing.
What are we geeking
today,
about
what
today?
we're going to focus on then is saying, hey, let's together talk about this TV show that's come out recently that everybody thinks kind of a big deal. The
Never
Wheel of
heard of it.
Time. Yeah, never heard of it, right?
This thing that everyone seems to be comparing to the Game of Thrones TV show.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
yes. Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh,
The Game of Thrones
We will-
comparisons.
We will talk about that a little here today for sure.
Yeah.
Before we jump into really digging into our thoughts on the TV show, though, there's one other thing Zach and I always like to do on our podcast, and that's we drink something. We honestly usually don't do these things entirely dry. We have to have some sort of beverage with us. And for Wheel of Time episodes, I like to make what I call a WoT-tail. So a Wheel of Time themed cocktail, and I've got one for us today, even in specifically a holiday glass.
oh, that's so cute.
This is called the Blue Valda. As Valda now means something more to everybody who's watching the TV show.
I'm not sure
And,
how I feel about that. It
I don't
tastes
want to
bad.
like that. I want it to be horrible, but it will probably not be horrible.
But the thing is, Volta is so bad. He's good. We're really liking him. Come on, admit it. We like
He's
what
a
we're seeing on the
fantastic
TV show.
character.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
And,
I saw on
Abdul's
the like.
performance is amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
This drink is a little like him, actually, because it is really good, but then it makes my throat all phlegmy. So I might end up coughing and hacking up, and well, there you go. That's perfect.
Does it make your mouth bleed? Does it have any balls
Oh,
on it?
that would have been
Oh my
gross.
God.
But I get it.
Okay.
Anyways, I do always post the recipes on our Instagram and our Discord server, so if you want to know what's in it, you can check it out. Zach, are you drinking something today?
Yes, but I'm just being boring and lame, which is to say, my girlfriend stopped by HEB to take care of me.
Well, at
Because
least
I would have
it's
been lamer
something.
and had non-alcohol. Now I do.
Okay. Does anyone else have something interesting that you're drinking today?
Nope.
I guess I've got a ginger beer in honor of our favorite Ginger Emmonsfielder.
I
So,
like
nice.
it. Some creativity there. Yeah.
Nice. I am drinking my usual Argentinian mate, but we have been having some interesting discussions in our
Oh, yeah.
discords about how this mate is definitely something that Loyal drinks and prepares in a delicious way. It's not alcoholic. It's just a hot infusion with herbs, yerba mate. I love it. It's delicious, but I like to think that in this big mate, because this is very big for a mate. It's very big. This is something that Loyal could be sharing with you while he's reading a book. So yeah.
I am obsessed with what you're drinking out of, though. I don't know if I can call that a cup or a mug or what I should call that, but it is beautiful.
It's a mate. The recipient and the drink are the same. A mate.
Really?
It's like the Amerlin seat, both the woman and the
Exactly.
throne.
Nice.
Yeah.
The connections just keep coming. Love it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. You know,
All
I'm
right.
not having anything interesting, just water. And it's not like I could
Hey.
hide my water this time into the episode like I did for Summer Night when I was on Inking Out Loud.
Well, there's
Water
nothing
is
wrong with water.
interesting.
I've got some of that too because I got to wash Volta out of my mouth. So, okay, now that sounded really bad. We are not that kind of podcast. We have to be
I
clear
mean,
about
the way
that.
you're talking, we might soon be.
That's an ongoing joke on our podcast.
You say that
All
very
right.
often. We're not this kind of podcast. It's very funny.
Which I don't know starts to make us wonder: are we? I don't know.
It's getting into like a WoT-a-Holiday After Dark edition.
I mean, it's after dark somewhere.
I mean, I'm living in Arizona, so it gets dark at like 4. So like, wait an hour and it technically qualifies.
All right, well, let's get into talking about this TV series then. You know, and if we end up wandering around into other tangents and stuff, that's fine too. I love that we're with a Cosmere-focused podcast here with us because that's how I found Brandon Sanderson, was reading The Wheel of Time. And then I've gone on to
wonderful.
read just about everything he's written. So I love the Cosmere. I love everything Sanderson's put out. I haven't read a clunker. Well, I mean, there's some that people go, that one's not as good. Okay, I can, you know, everybody's got their best and they're not his best, but they're still great books, great reads, all of it.
Yeah.
And we are so thankful for Brandon Sanderson for bringing home The Wheel of Time.
Yes,
So
and
I
he
was reading those
really
books as
did
they
it
were published.
very well.
Yeah, absolutely. When Robert Jordan passed away, it was like, oh no. I mean, it was very sad that he
Yeah.
left too early, but the thought that we were never going to get the conclusion to this incredible series. So when Brandon Sanderson came through, very happy. Cheers to that.
Yeah, definitely.
And now we get to this wonderful TV series. 6 episodes in, amazing stuff going on, so much we could talk about. I want to give a challenge to each of you right off the bat here for our first question. Okay? Thinking of how you're feeling about this entire series. And those of you who are, you know, following the live stream, you can add yours in the comments here of what I'm going to toss out. in 5 words, in honor of our Emmonsfield 5, just 5 words, give us how you feel about the TV show. No more than 5. What would you say? Who wants to try? Who wants to go first?
I think we got to make you go first, right?
Oh, definitely.
You have
Yeah.
the most time to prepare on that.
I might steal your answer, though, Zach. You know, anytime I let you go first, you steal exactly what I was going to say. But I've got an answer ready. I would go dynamic, creative, high-quality thrill ride. That's what I'm getting out of this show so far. Just, man.
Wow.
So many things are packing in. So many things on the edge of your seat. And we'll talk more about those, so I don't want to say a bunch of words now. 5 words. Hold it to 5. And
Oh my gosh,
by the way,
I think
as I'm being questioned, maybe in the chat, high quality had a hyphen. So it was 5 words. High quality. Anyways. Oh, there's a nice one. Beth Weston there in the chat. Love it. And of course, we've got that one now. That's great.
Yes.
But is that 5 words or 15?
Oh, Rajesh, that's great too. They're stealing all the good ones. Come on. Who's
Yeah.
got something?
Yeah,
You want to jump in?
I'm gonna. Yeah,
Do
go
you want
ahead,
to go,
Alana.
Shay? Oh, okay, cool.
No, go ahead.
I went more of the sentence route with, gosh, I think this is 5. Even better than I imagined.
Yes. Love it.
Yes.
Oh.
I am excited, optimistic, and thrilled. Well, that's 3, but to be watching this with everyone and sharing it with friends and family.
That was
There
way
were
more than
5
5.
words. in
I have
there,
no
at
idea
least.
where we went with the word count now, but I don't care.
You know
That
what?
works.
Look, as Brandon Sanderson once said, I'm a writer, a fantasy writer. We tend to have a problem with brevity, which is very true.
Oh my god.
Beautiful. Yes.
When you, Jim, said 5 words, my immediate first thought was I have to make a ketek for this. Ketek as in
Oh!
this beautiful poetry that we have in the Stormlight Archives. And I did try, but I am from Argentina. English is not my first language, and that proved so hard. I mean, I tried.
Catechs are
I didn't
hard to
succeed.
write.
Yeah, so just
Incredibly
keep in mind
hard.
that I would have liked to create a beautiful ketek, but I just went for 5 words. My 5 were dramatic, adventurous, thrilling, hype, and tribute. Tribute being my favorite one. So
Beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
All right.
I think you did a fine job there.
it's
I
not
think-
ketek, but it's honest work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, Catechs are incredibly hard to write.
I love them.
Particularly
Oh, yeah.
because like not only do they have to be symmetrical, but they have to mean you have to have 5 separate thoughts and be logical both ways and adjust the end. There's a million things going into them. They are incredibly hard to write.
Yeah, and every time I hear about them, I'm just like, why did Brandon do that to himself? Like, you could lower the standards a bit. It's your own series. No one's gonna question it.
Oh, and thank you for donating.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Tomates. Which
We've been
nice
getting a
reference.
number of really nice donations coming in. You're all being noticed. You're all appreciated. Zach,
Yes.
you've had all this time to think now. Do you
Yes.
have your 5?
I'm gonna round it out in a typical Zach fashion, mostly humorously rather than actually taking it seriously, and just say better than Game of Thrones.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god.
He did it.
No,
we're gonna be getting
Game
some
of Thrones fans, you cannot
comments.
take back your donations now. Oh, man.
Oh
That
my
was
gosh.
awesome.
You're gonna be getting us in trouble.
Oh, I've been getting hate mail since day one. A year in the working.
I gotta tell you, I do love
Bird
that,
from
Zach. That
Rob.
was so good.
Oh my gosh.
And we've continued to see a whole bunch of really good ones in the chat too. You guys are very creative. You're doing a wonderful job. Love it. All right, we've got some prepared questions that we're going to work our way through here that everybody here on the panel had a chance to see ahead of time. But then we have some that I've called quick fire. Blah, I can't speak now. Quick fire questions that only I know, and they're short and sweet and easy to answer. So here's the first one of them.
Okay.
Look at that. The
Is that the
vault is
question?
getting in the way
The
already.
vault.
Yeah. Okay. So you've got 6 episodes out there. Best episode so far. Don't think long. Zach,
5.
Cheyenne.
6 or 4. I can't decide.
Oh, she waffles.
Hmm.
Ilana,
Oh, 6?
Elf,
4.
and I'm with
Without
you.
a thought.
4.
4.
All right. All right. It's I understand going 6 or 4. I mean, they're all so good so
Yeah.
far.
Mhm.
There's so much. I mean,
4.
every last one of them has something in it that's
Mhm.
just and keeps making you want to see what's next. I'm really
Yeah.
excited for the next 2 episodes, and
Oh,
at
yeah.
the same time, I'm dreading the next 2
Yeah,
episodes
we're
because
like,
then it means we have to
It's
wait
over.
for
Oh my
season
God,
2.
yeah. It's gonna be so hard.
It is.
Because like before it was like this abstract idea of like we don't know what it's gonna be, like it could be terrible, and now we know that it's good, and it's like
Mhm.
now we have to wait a whole other year to get the next season, and it's just gonna be even harder.
Yeah.
Right,
At least we don't
right.
have to wait 3 years like we do for a
Oh my
Stormlight book. So
Exactly. It could be worse.
It could, that's true.
Yep. And I will say, at least we will still have the Dusty Wheel and Talk Around
Yes.
Riyadh to keep
Yeah.
us thinking and talking about everything that's to come in season 2.
yeah, and so many other content creators that have joined us today that
Yeah.
Mhm.
maybe couldn't, but there's a lot of content to catch up with. It's
Absolutely.
been
Oh, so
incredibly
much.
hard to keep up.
Mhm.
Totally.
Like if you thought the 14 books was overwhelming, the amount of podcasts that you can listen to
Oh,
about
goodness.
them is just ridiculous. But they're all so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just think of them as 28 books because I know I read the first chapter, the prologue actually, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to read this twice. I'm going to
Wow.
finish this and I'm going to immediately start all over again. So for me, it's already 28 books. And I'm okay with that. I accept.
You have more patience than I do. Like I want to get through these and find out what happens.
Oh, yeah.
But
Same.
you know, the thing about reading the Wheel of Time is it truly comes to life the second time through. There's so much you can't fully
Yeah, it
appreciate. I mean,
really
it's still
does.
good, but you can't fully appreciate it the first time.
I
So a
know.
reread is necessary. I will say that the TV series is proving to be the same thing. You
Mm.
truly don't get a full appreciation on the first watch. So I did want to ask, you know, how many times have each of you watched the episodes so far? For me, it's only twice so far because I'm busy with other things and just putting our content out. It's hard to have enough time to just sit and watch more TV. But I have watched each of the episodes so far twice. And the second time was so much better than the first time.
Oh, great. Thanks, Rob, for making a poll in the chat on that.
Oh, great.
Amazing.
Yeah, I've watched most of them twice. I've watched the first 2 3 times and the 6th one only once because I was only able to watch it yesterday. But I'll watch it again with my sister in the coming days because she's really enjoyed the episodes. So
Mhm.
How about the
Yeah.
rest
Yeah.
of you in general? Have you been able to squeeze in extra watches yet?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, mine is all over the place because I've been super busy. So
Mhm.
I've seen the first one like 3 times. I think I saw the second one twice, and then things kind of fell apart. And so I think I've seen the third, and I think I watched the first half of the fourth one twice, but I didn't get to the second half because I got interrupted.
It happens.
And yeah, and so I've been watching a lot of like recaps and like deep dives, but I haven't sat down to watch the show again. I did replay episode 6 right after I watched it because I was like, hold on, what just happened? And felt the need to go back through that. But really for me, it's been like whenever I have free time, it's either I read Lord of Chaos or I go back and rewatch. And I'm like, oh, I really want to know what's going on in Lord of Chaos. So it's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
yeah,
You
Lord
know,
of Chaos is a crazy book.
Mhm.
it's one of the best. One of the
I'm
best.
still angry.
Oh,
Angry.
yeah, I know you are.
Mamma
Oh my
mia.
gosh. Yep.
Zach, how many times have you watched the
This
episodes?
is avoiding answering this question for a little bit because it's embarrassing as a fan that I've only seen most of them once. I'll get there. I'll be honest, the first 3 I've seen twice because my girlfriend's parents decided to watch them with me as well. They aren't fantasy fans. They just were willing to do it. And as far as I know, they don't hate me. So we're good.
Nice.
That's helpful. That's helpful when your girlfriend's parents don't hate you. Yes. Agreed.
Yeah, I've been trying to, well, gosh. I was like, every time that I have free time, I tell my parents, like, hey, I'm gonna go rewatch. Like, I need space to go rewatch. And my mom's like, okay, look, I love this show. Just wait until it's over and I will be there and rewatch with you. Like, we can talk. And she's not a fantasy fan, but like, this show has gotten her so hyped up that she actually wants to read the books now. So I was like, yeah, I'll wait to rewatch with her. But then also I'm trying to get my partner into this who also doesn't like fantasy. And so I'm like just spreading the Wheel of Time as much as I can.
Now, in talking with people who have been watching the TV series, there are very different opinions people have on this. I mean, anyone who spent any time on social media knows this very clearly. Strongly differing opinions on the series. I'm kind of feeling like if people haven't read the books and they're watching the series, I'm almost recommending to people they should just watch the series. Don't worry about the books. In fact, wait till it's done. 8 years from now or whatever it is. Just enjoy the show, then go back and read the books. Because they're different turnings of the wheel. Don't let yourself get confused or frustrated because obviously they're adapting. Things are different.
Yeah.
Because the people who haven't watched the books, you look at their reviews on IMDb or whatever, they're loving the show. It's great. And then people who read the books but didn't know they'd change anything, they're like, burn it! I hate this! It's like, what?
Oh my god.
The
white cloaks. Yeah, the white cloaks.
So I don't know. That's just my thought. Maybe they should just wait until it's over, then read the books. It's 2 different stories almost. The essence is the same, but the nuances, the differences might bug people.
Definitely.
That leads me to the question. Next question I have for everybody.
Okay.
Do you feel they are honoring the source material well enough?
Yeah.
Obviously, they're making
absolutely.
changes.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes. I think Rafe has talked many times about the process of adaptation and what his approach is to it. And he says he wants to preserve the heart and the spine of the Wheel of Time, what really makes the Wheel of Time the Wheel of Time. And Brandon Sanderson has also talked about it most recently on his podcast, Intentionally Blank, of like the scale of like changes and how the Wheel of Time sits right in the middle where it needs to be its own thing because it's physically impossible to adapt the Wheel of Time in 14 seasons or however much it would need to be exactly like the books. Yes. But also it's keeping like the soul of the story and of the characters. The casting is absolutely fantastic. And also the world, like they are so many little details that I've adored. And also they are doing foreshadowing the Robert Jordan style, which is amazing. Oh, I am a huge fan of that device. I will talk about foreshadowing a long, long time. And I love just the tiny things, like in the way they shoot the episodes and certain lines. And like choices they've made that foreshadow so much that's yet to come. And even parts that I haven't gotten to yet.
So that's a strong statement that you're saying, yes, they are honoring the source material and they're doing a great job. Anyone disagree? Because Rob can pull you off the panel now.
Not entirely. But I am always one to give a little bit of a differing opinion. Sorry, Rob. Before I get pulled out of here, let me be careful.
Yes, tread gently, Zach. Go ahead.
I've had some conversations with people, and what I've slowly come to realize is some people, if you have only read to a certain point in the books, think it's differing too much. And various focal points on certain characters that are important, but may or may not feel important in the first book, but are in the show. Those sorts of things are things that you really appreciate as a full series reader or someone who hasn't read anything. But if you've read the first couple books and that's it, it feels pointless.
So you're saying you have more faith in what they're doing with it and being true to it if you have the context of the entire series behind you already.
Or if you have zero context at all.
Right. Okay. I don't
Yeah.
think you get kicked off for that. That's legit. All right.
No, that it really does make sense. Because Brandon talked about how they are pulling in things, he talked about like splitting the Wheel of Time to eras. Like the first 3 books are like more like traditional quest fantasy, and then 4 to 6, where it's like this big world building political epic, and how they're moving things from all the way there, earlier in the series to establish the tone better, and like so that the tone is more consistent. And I think that's exactly what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think if I had been, like, I'm thinking back to where I was whenever I was reading, like, the 4th book-ish. Like, if I only had that information and then watched the show, I can see where a lot of these changes seem more important than they will actually end up being, I think.
Right.
Like, I think the only real concern that I have with any of the changes happened in episode 6, and just with the different way that the Waygate works, but that's, like, minutia. That is, like,
Yeah,
not...
it's a minutia.
That one bothered me.
That bothered me a little bit, but everything else
That's
that
the
they've
only thing.
done, I think, really sticks with the heart of the characters.
Yeah.
But like, whenever you look at like what you get of the plot in the earlier part of the series, it's like, but that was really important then. And it's like, yeah, it was in like book 3, but by the time you're in like book 8, we are so far past that like the fact that changed doesn't really make much of a difference.
So, Zach, I saw you kind of like, oh, the Waygate, the way they did that now really bothered you. And it segues nicely to our next question, where I do want to ask, what are some changes that you aren't perhaps completely on board with? You have questions. And the Waygate is one where I'm left with a question that I'm pretty sure I saw Moraine use the one power to open a Waygate.
Exactly. It looked
Now,
like
how
it
do
required
Ogier use it
channeling.
then? Because
Exactly.
it was created for Ogier. So I'm a little confused.
I'm sure there's something there that will maybe get explained, maybe like a lost key situation, and this is picking the lock, or I don't know, but it feels at the moment, because they put it at the end of the episode, like something that I want to be angry about until they satisfy me.
Exactly. That's kind of where I'm at, because I'm like, I have questions because we see later on that other people are using the Waygate that may not have like access to the one power, or other creatures are using it. And I'm like, well, then how are they getting in there? And so like, do they have the key, or what's happening? So like, I have a lot of questions. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal, but it's just kind of one of those things where, because they didn't explain it immediately afterwards, and they kind of give you this week to stew in it, it's kind of like, oh, why did that happen? Why did they do that?
So again, if you're not a book reader, you don't think twice of what you just saw there. It's like,
definitely.
Yeah,
magic.
exactly.
Okay, cool.
It's minutia.
And if you are a book reader, then you're like, all right, I'm not sure about this, but maybe we'll just see where they go with it. Or what does it mean later, and maybe it's not a big deal. But other changes that you aren't completely on board with, even if it's just, I'm still reserving judgment, not sure about this one, anything jump out for you?
The thing with the Perrin and his wife on the first episode.
Yeah.
I mean, from the first time that lady appeared on screen, I was like, she's gonna die. I mean, knowing the story, she's gonna die. How long?
Yeah.
Counting the time until she died.
That's great.
I have heard people trying to find an explanation to that decision. People arguing that Perrin is a very introspective or internal character.
True.
That makes sense. I understand, but I still was like, why like this?
Yeah.
And
it's
not our place. I mean, we can't totally understand the decisions they make behind it. They have to do something. They pick this thing. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely on board with that being the way they should have done it.
Yeah, like
but
even
I can
still, like
understand it.
Yeah, and Rafe talked about how they tried to take Brandon's suggestion with like doing it with a different character that's close to Perrin, one of his parents, or like Master Luhan, and that it just wouldn't work because it needed so much more time to establish, when episode 1 just needed to do a ridiculous amount of world building already.
Yeah.
So like, it makes sense. It's
right.
something that like it is like bothersome a bit that that's happened, but it makes sense, and I can see it, and I can get past like from a storytelling perspective because they just.
I think it's
didn't
important that
have
all
the
of us,
time.
as fans watching the show, understand, and if you've been following Rafe Judkins, if you've been paying attention to everything that's come out, they're not making these decisions willy-nilly. They're very careful, intentional, deliberate. I'm sure they've agonized over the changes to make sure they did it just the right way. So I'm willing to give them, I'm going to keep watching the show.
Yeah.
Even when they tick me off, I'm going to keep watching the show because I still overall love it.
I will
I have
Alex,
say,
looked like you had
actually-
something to say.
okay, go ahead.
I have actually been thinking about this thing because when you ask what are some things that you're not completely on board, this is the first thing I thought. And I was like, okay, but why did they did it? And yeah, I have read the argument about the internal character and stuff, but after watching for the second time this episode with the traveling people, the Tuathan, there's a line in the dialogue in which we have this lady asking Perrin, have you ever wielded an axe? Did it do anything good to you? And the actor's face completely went
Right.
like...
Yeah.
That hit.
So I think that maybe there's a
Yes.
connection trying to make a point of what the philosophy of the Way of the Leaf is. If that was the reason, because I have been thinking about this, if that was the reason or kind of a connection, I mean, makes sense. It still was like shocking on the first episode. It was
Right.
like,
Oh, literally,
Yeah.
my wife is sitting next to me watching the show. When that happened, she's like, yeah, right on the couch.
Yeah.
I knew it
Oh
was
my gosh.
coming.
Yeah, honestly, I think
I'd seen all the
yeah,
advanced
the things
stuff,
that
so I knew. But
could have shocked me the most, for the most part, I was already expecting because I've been in the community so long and like following everything. And because of YouTube titles, I got spoiled in the end of
yes.
episode 6, like with Matt. And so I was fully expecting that to happen because YouTube titles were just super annoying. But
Yeah, I think my one concern with that, well, I have a lot of concerns with that. I don't know why I said it like that. But I can overlook a lot of my issues. Like, I don't love that it's a fridging of like a female character. I don't love that this is how they decided to build Perrin's like backstory and stuff. But my major concern was the fact that like I asked my mom, and do I have a bit of an echo? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I'm hearing it too.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see what I can do about that. But when talking to my mom about this episode, who is a new like watcher, Perrin was like my favorite character in Eye of the World, and I still really love him. And my mom was like, yeah, I don't like him now. Like that turned a lot of like my family against Perrin because they're like, that felt really unnecessary. And now he's got this whole weight and baggage, and it's a lot for like episode 1. And so it actually made them uncomfortable when Perrin was on screen and stuff like that. And like, they weren't getting that like emotional build. It was just kind of like, oh, that guy just killed his wife. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so everyone else was a bit more sympathetic, whereas Perrin like just went through this and they're like, I mean, yeah, but like, couldn't they have had like a Trolloc kill her or something? Like, why did it have to be Perrin? And I understand the Way of the Leaf argument, but it's just, I'm concerned for like my favorite character that it's going to turn new watchers against him.
Although
And
I tell you, it did add some real gravitas to that scene with Valda when he has the two of them and then he's torturing Perrin. But you know, when they have those words when he's out of the room and they're talking and how he's like, no, I deserve this. I mean, just they're using what they created. Master.
Oh, definitely.
You can say that. Yeah.
Like, I may not love how they set it up, but I completely respect and appreciate everything that they've done with it since.
Let me turn this topic to something just a little bit more on the lighter side. What are some of the changes you've really enjoyed? And I want to lead on one here because it's one I think I've seen out in Twitter. Some people don't like this, but I totally do. I like this new and improved Lan. This warder who's not quite so stoic, that we see a little more personality and the ironic sense of humor that comes through it. I love what Daniel Henney is doing with this character.
Absolutely. Yeah.
as far as show characters go,
Yes, I
he's
100%
probably
agree on the
currently my
land
favorite.
thing. God, I wish I could talk more about this because it has so many implications for later on in the series.
That's right. We can't spoil
with
beyond.
how changing. I know it's so hard. Like changing like this one thing with time, so that he isn't like always like this. I mean, Lan is still very much a stoic person,
He is.
but he
Yeah.
isn't this. Like
Rock.
he isn't like this like rock that feels nothing.
Right.
And like and so that really helps with later on like problems that come up in the book because of like toxic masculinity with my favorite character in particular, because a lot of that comes like from these early books and well then what that character experiences, but like having this change to Lan is really going to have a lot of implications for that, and I really like it as a way to explore like the ideas there. And another one of my favorite changes are the white cloaks. The fact that they're making them more menacing, but the fact that they pulled Valda in this early and that they made him a questioner.
Yeah.
There's a scene later on in the series, I'm not going to spoil it, but that having us hate Valda so much this early on is going to make that scene all the more fantastic.
Yeah, it was one of the frustrations I had
like,
with the books, and it's only minor because I love the books. But the White Cloaks were a bunch of punks. Oh, we're supposed to be scared of them. Why? They're mostly incompetent. They can't get anything done. I love this grittier, darker, more effective White Cloak group. So yeah, that's been a good change for me. What else? What else have you guys liked? Zach, I see you thinking something. Go ahead.
My personal favorite change so far really is the entirety of the Karini and Stefan arc, because I was like, wait a second, I know these characters, but I don't know these characters. And then I thought about it and went, Karini dies like 20 years before the first book starts.
Yes.
She's not around by the time our story's going on. But I loved it. The 5th episode is my favorite just because it's such an emotional mess throughout the entire episode.
It's true.
And somebody's got to get an award at some point for some of that acting. And
Laniel. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So good.
So powerful, yeah.
Yeah.
I love how someone called him Laniel in the chat.
Yep, I saw that. Is there one more change that you want to shout out that you really have liked?
Logain. I am
out of words with the scene of Logain being gentle. I never remember if it's gentle or still for male and female, but yeah, severe, as you guys say in your
gentle is male, still is female, severed is for both.
Yep.
Okay, that scene with the black thing coming out of his chest and the tears rolling down his face, that was... Because we don't see that. We only see him going to Tarvalon, then we see him after that. And seeing that scene was like, oh my god.
Yeah, and I think it makes whenever he shows up later in the series more powerful, because you really see like that trauma that he goes through, and it kind of explains some of his reactions later on.
Wait, he shows up later?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh gosh, I'm like, wait, was that?
All right.
I mean,
time to throw in
yeah, we
quick
see enough
fire
of it in the Dragon Reborn to be safe, I think.
Yeah.
All right, quick fire question for you all.
Okay.
Which one of these characters do you love to dislike the most from what they've shown us on the TV series? Leandrin Sedai or Aemon Valda?
Oh, Valda.
Oh god, that's such a fun. Because of both of them. Both of them.
So you like hating him the most?
More.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. See, I'm Leandrin.
Oh.
I'm loving disliking Leandrin. She is such a subtle sister with all her seemingly simple questions she's peppering in all the time. It's like, that's more. Valda is just blatantly bad. Leandrin?
I'm
is
scared that
something
I won't get as
unique.
much Elida time to hate.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I feel like a lot of the hate that I usually put on Elida is getting shifted to Leandrin.
Mm-hmm.
And like, am I
We'll
okay
see.
with it? Yes.
I can see that.
I think that may shift in season 2 or 3.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
And I
Leandrin.
mean, hey, from what Rafe said and the castings he announced at New Year Comic Con, it seems we have our Elida. I am betting it's Natasha O'Keefe. I think that's her last name, but I'm feeling that's her.
It's a possibility.
Yeah. I think Leandrin for me is just like I think Daniel Green said it in his like deep dive that she's just kind of like a mean girl at the moment, like walking around the tower like I'm in charge here, and like you better like shape up or ship out, Moraine. Like I don't know, I'm like entertained by her, but I don't hate her because I'm like, okay, this is different than I expected, and so I'm just more curious to see where Leandrin's going to go than I am like, oh, I hate her guts. Whereas like Valda steps on screen and I'm like, oh my god, it's him.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. I'll admit my feeling on Leandrin is influenced by what we learn of her over the first 3 books, which again, we're not going beyond, but we know things about her as book readers that the TV people don't know yet. But when I add that in, that's definitely influencing how I feel about what they're doing with that character.
Yeah,
That's
it was
completely
especially telling when we learned she's actually not a natural blonde. She dyes it. It really ruined the character for me.
Okay, moving on.
good to know.
You know, when we put together some questions that we might be able to go through in this hour, I was like, you know, and this will probably fill the time. Yeah, we're not going to get to half the questions I had here, so I'm just going to jump around a little bit. Next thing I want to ask everybody is just, who's your favorite character so far on the TV show? And does this match who your favorite character was when you'd read this far? Like, just through the eye of the world?
I love this question.
Oh gosh. Well,
Yeah,
my
that's
favorite
so hard
character in the
because-
series is Nynaeve. And she's my favorite character in the show so far because I really think they've like captured her heart and like her stubbornness and everything that goes along with that. But when I was first reading Eye of the World, my favorite character was definitely Perrin. Nynaeve is someone I came to like love later on in the series. So it's interesting to see like how that interacts.
Yeah, that's great. And again, the characters change so much. They progress over the course of the series. But when we're just thinking about that first book, it's hard to find anybody where Nynaeve was their favorite character in the Eye of the World.
Oh, I have a friend.
No, but a lot of them feel that way about the TV series. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, someone else?
The first character I loved when I started.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. When I started the Eye of the World, I immediately decided that Matt was going to be my favorite character. And after that, some people told me, really, Matt? I mean, he gets better over the 3rd book, but really? You're really in Eye of the World? And I was like, yes. Yes. And he still is my favorite character. I just think that in the 1st book, we spend a lot of time with him. We have some point of views with him, and we see him interacting a lot with Rand. So that's not easy to show in the TV show because they have only 8 episodes and they did this 1 month time skip. So I couldn't find to love Matt in the TV show so much as I love him in the book. I really like the way the actor is portraying it. Like, amazing. Barney Harris is doing an amazing job. But yeah, I mean, definitely my favorite from the TV show is Nynaeve. Yeah, Marcus is amazing. But Nynaeve, I love this Nynaeve in the TV show.
Totally. We're going to go to Cheyenne next in just a moment, but I want to point out there, we still have people making donations to the charity. Thank you so much. Emmeline's made a donation. That's one of our Discordians and followers. Whoop, whoop. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Everybody who's supporting this, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Cheyenne?
It's been amazing.
What about you? What's your favorite character right now?
Got it. So, my favorite character in the book series, and this is the whole series is Rand. But that's very much informed by his arc throughout the whole series. I mean, to the point that my extended essay for the IB is on him and a character from Stormlight. But a huge part of that is Rand's character and lots of things that happen with him that I won't spoil. However, he wasn't my favorite in Eye of the World. It took me a long time to decide my favorite character. And I think like part of what like makes Rand my favorite character is the writing with him. And so in Eye of the World, it's really hard to say for me. So I couldn't really like pick one. But in the show, God, I'm loving so many people. Perrin, Marcus Rutherford, is doing amazing at portraying the character and like this like internal like conflict that he has and this quite like thoughtfulness that defines Perrin as a character. I am loving Shoalata. Priyanka, good, amazing. Moraine, Rosamund was born for the role of Moraine. And yeah, Barney's doing great. And Zoe as Nynaeve is...
All right. You just love all the characters. We got you.
So much. Yes, I love them all because
they're
it's
all
really
doing
hard.
amazing. That's very true.
They're all doing great.
Zach, because they haven't given us 3 hours for this episode,
Oh
what do you think in short burst?
Rocket pick. Full series, I'm a Matt guy, but in that first book, I will admit, I was a Perrin fan. Early days. However, the show, Batlan all the way. Lan is winning my heart, and Daniel Henney is incredible.
All right. Well, in the first book, The Eye of the World, I was a Rand guy. I really dug his perspective, his point of view, the things he struggles with. I was on board. But in the TV show, I can't stand Rand yet. It's like, oh, come on, man. No, not digging Rand. And I think I'm not supposed to dig Rand. I think they're kind of doing that to me on purpose. I love Matt's character in the show.
Yay.
He's just so entertaining. So I connect with his whimsical way of looking at the world around him. And even when he gets a little dark, he's still got some snarky humor that creeps through. That's just how he does. It's probably a coping mechanism. He hasn't had the best of a background of a life they've set up.
Yeah.
But I like the Matt we've seen so far. All right. We don't have a lot more time here. So let's see. What should we go to? It might be kind of our last question here.
Yeah, we should do this again some other weekend.
We should. We don't have to
absolutely.
do this on the WoT-a-Holiday. But all right, let me ask this one. What character from The Eye of the World, from the book, have we not seen yet on the TV series that you really, really, really hope we get? And if not in season 1, that they throw the person in season 2.
Ooh,
but
I have
you'd really like to see in season 1 still. Okay, Zach, go ahead.
Min.
Yes.
Oh,
Gotta see Min.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go Min or Elida, who I know is not going to be in season 1, but like, again, love to hate her. So,
I want the Green Man. I want to see the Green Man.
Mess
You know?
with myself.
And there's some significance to the whole story to have the Green Man. So I want to see that, and I don't know if we're going to get it or not.
Oh, definitely. The Green Man was such a touching character.
I'm gonna
for
say
me in
Elaine.
the world.
Because of the way
you'd like to
so
see
many
Elaine.
people have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know Elaine has been cast.
Because of the way so many of the people, like cast, crew, Rafe, everyone has been talking about Kiara in the role. And like you see Kiara's Instagram, and she is Elaine.
Yeah. Yep. We're seeing a lot of good ones in the chat. People they're hoping to see. Yeah, Bail Dolman, man. We
That
need
do
some
be a
Bail
good
Dolman.
one.
yeah, and definitely want to see Elias. I think that'll be. I don't know how they're going to do that, but I want to see it.
Right. And of course, Mandarb's put out there Varen. We want some Varen. Now, Varen wasn't in The Eye of the World. She doesn't show up until book 2, but
Varen.
we definitely need some Varen.
In Eye of the World, but
yeah.
They didn't remember that.
I mean, Leandra didn't show up till the second book either, so...
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard some theories that they're going to like smush Varen and Alana together, and while I have mixed feelings about that, I really just want to see Varen. Like, I think they're such different characters that I'm not sure how that will work.
They need to put them on different people.
We do want to see Steve.
Definitely need to see Steve. Yep.
Yeah, where was Narg? That's what
I
I was
don't know
looking
if the
for.
two of you, Alana and Alf, have context for Steve. But
I don't think so.
Narg is the first
Yeah,
prologue
kind
that
of
we see.
following the show information
Narg
to
was not
understand
there.
Steve. Yeah. Okay, we do have time still for a couple more of the quick fire type questions where we won't have to dig too far. So here's one. Who would you want by your side if you got cornered in some dark alley? Moraine, Tom. Yeah, you got choices here. I'm going to give you 5. Okay. Of these 5, you want at your side Moraine, Tom, Lan, Logain before he's gentled, or Nynaeve. Which one would you want with you?
Was it Tom or
Logain.
Tom?
Tom, the Gleeman.
Brand's father.
No.
Oh, Tom
the Gleeman.
Okay.
No, the Gleeman. Yeah. Oh, that's a bit.
So, which one? Which one do you want with you?
Nynaeve. Yeah. She just shiv the guy or whatever.
She just shiv him. Oh, that's great.
We don't need the one power to protect us. I got Nynaeve's rage.
No, I would definitely want my multi-class bard and rogue, Tom the Gleeman.
Flicks the dagger.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
Cheyenne, what about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Lan.
He's pretty versatile.
Lan. And Daniel is doing great, so I'm gonna say Lan.
Zach?
You know, weirdly, for show, I'm actually going Logain. I think he's a nicer, or at least better person than I felt like I got from early books. I trust him, which is weird. I don't want to.
Yeah, they did a nice job of showing the character at the heart of him in the TV series. So I think that's going to play out later for sure. So I get you. I feel bad that I actually would want to have Moraine with me. Because I don't want to have Moraine with me. I think other characters are so much more fun to have around. But Moraine is the experienced Aes Sedai who can get stuff done. Yes. If I'm stuck in a dark alley, cornered by people, I want her to bail me out of it. Now she's going to turn around then and, read me out for being an idiot and going down a dark alley. And what was I thinking? And yada, yada, yada. I'm going to have to deal with that. But she's the one that will be able to save my bacon. So... yeah,
just make sure she doesn't take you on like a 14-book long quest afterwards. It's like, okay, you're joining the group. Come on.
Oh man, I almost made a joke that would have been a spoiler.
Yeah, you can't
do it.
Can't do it.
I think. Yeah.
No, but on the topic of Logain being so trustworthy, just fun fact that my mom, when we were watching that like beginning of the episode, she goes, "Okay, show's over. Let's just let him be the dragon. We're done. Like everyone go home now. We're good."
Oh yeah, you remember you told us that.
I was like, she was just like, "Yeah, I'm totally ready to follow that guy."
There you go. We have just a few more minutes in this segment. If you're still wanting to make a donation and have us feel good that it came in during our time, you've got just a few more minutes. I see Jordan made a donation. That's another one of our regular patrons. Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate it. Okay, here's another quick fire question. This one's a big one. I got to read a little longer to get the question out, but your answer is going to be yes or no. Okay, so this is easy to answer. Okay. We mentioned way at the beginning, Wheel of Time has been compared to Game of Thrones till we're sick of it. Okay, a lot of that. It's not Game of Thrones. We know that. It's a very different type of story. But let's go with one comparison. Emmy Awards. Okay, the TV awards that are issued every year. Game of Thrones first season was nominated for 13 Emmys, and it won 2 of them for creative, outstanding main title design, and for outstanding supporting actor.
100%.
Peter Dinklage. He took that home.
Who was that?
So
that actor?
my question is for you: Will
Peter played
beat that?
Tyrion?
Yeah, he was Tyrion.
Okay.
Is Wheel of Time going to be able to beat what Game of Thrones did in the Emmys for its season 1? Not the 13 nominations necessarily. I'm talking about, will it win more than 2?
Okay.
Yes or no? What do you think?
No, because I think it will probably have better competition.
Interesting. And you have a good point. Game
Who
of
was the
Thrones didn't have much
competition?
in the fantasy area to compete
Yeah, I don't
against,
know
though,
about
that's for
Yeah.
sure.
competition, so
Yeah, I'm gonna go no for similar reasons, just because Game of Thrones is not the end-all be-all for fantasy, but it was like the first fantasy show that like became widely popular. And so I think there's going to be people comparing like season 1 to like whatever the later seasons of Game of Thrones were. I did not watch the show, so I have no idea. But they're going to be comparing different levels of like success. So I say no.
See, I'm going to go yes. I'm going to say it's
Oh.
going to win more than 2 Emmys. My reason is when Game of Thrones broke out on the scene, a lot of people didn't even notice. It was on HBO. It was this show on, a subscribe-only thing that not everybody was in touch with, and a lot of its real fans and the people who really started talking about it didn't catch on until season 3, season 4. So it started small. Wheel of Time, everybody's talking about. It's got all the buzz, and that influences the voters. It's not supposed to, but it does. So I'm going to say it's going to get at least 3. I'll hedge my bets. At least 3. I'd like to see more, but I definitely see some things that could win it all.
yeah,
Santa
I'm
Rob
not
has
sure.
showed
I
up.
definitely see things where it could win. Amazing
With
title
a
design,
sparkling queen in front of
100%.
me.
I adore the opening sequence.
Oh, it's
But,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not
definitely.
I would say yes, of course. The actors and actresses are wonderful. The pictures are beautiful. The costume design is outstanding.
Yes.
Right, they are going to win much
Yes,
more.
it is.
They are going to make it.
There
I
you go.
100% support them. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I hope you guys are right. I don't want to be right in this case.
I
we
agree.
we all hope it does really, really well. Totally.
Nice. Okay, just need you to pick someone out of chat to go into the draw, and then we can do the chopping and changing and put in whoever's staying and going and bring in the Watchinary crew because they're waiting behind the scenes. So who are we picking out of chat?
Well, what do you think, guys?
I'm not sure.
Don't ask
Don't
me.
everybody
I'm
yell
here
at
for,
once.
I'm here for the jokes that almost get me kicked off.
There was a
Oh,
lot of good
gosh.
stuff here, and I don't know who's already entered in the chat, but
They can have multiple entries from chat. That's fine.
okay.
Okay.
Man, I could go with Rajesh.
Rajesh?
Yeah,
Yeah?
it's got a lot of
Okay.
good stuff in there.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Done. In. Lovely.
All right,
Okay, Jim and Zach, I believe you're playing Watchinary. So
we
hang
are.
around.
We get to play. Woohoo!
I will lose.
Ladies, you were awesome. Thank you for putting up with Jim's questioning. He's a bit of a
It
nosy
was
Don't
guy.
call me a
an
questioner,
honor.
okay? Don't call me a
Oh.
questioner.
That's why I said questioning. He's a bit of a nosy guy.
I know I tend to go long on questions. That's what happened.
No, you were awesome. We had so much fun with all 3 of you. Thank you
Yeah.
for being here.
All right,
I'm here.
I'm
Well,
going to
thank
start
you for
chopping
having
and
us.
changing
This
it all
was
around.
fun.
I'm gonna
Bye.
start bringing everyone in.
Bye.
Yeah,
Here they
it was
come.
great being
Here
here.
they come.
And thank you so much for watching.